Welcome, Kurt. How are you today?
I'm doing really excellent. Thanks for asking.
Great. Well, thanks for joining us, everyone. I've got Dr. Kurt Visnick here with me and myself, Katie Larking, health and nutrition coach. And this week we are talking about Sisel's detox pack and wanted to share with you the benefits and why you might purchase this pack.
You bet. Well, Katie, I think it's an excellent pack. These are products that I use, except for the Super Detox. I don't use that on a daily basis. I only use that a couple times a year. But everything else I use on a daily basis.
Yeah, fantastic. So we'll start with the Super Detox. So you just said use it a couple times a year. How often can you use this product?
Well, I mean, really, you could use it once a month, just once 1 week out of every month. If you've got a lot of digestive problems, I'd probably suggest that and using it once a month, for a week until you get your digestive problems cleaned up. If you've been exposed to a lot of toxins, if you've been eating a lot of junk foods, things like that, it's probably a great product. If you've been on a lot of antibiotics, it's probably a great product that you need to be on a lot more.
Yeah.
When I first started using it, when I joined Sisel, a decade ago, I used this product more consistently. But then as I cleaned myself up, it really worked great.
Yeah, fantastic. So Super Detox supports the body to remove mucoid plaque and that backlog of waste matter. So going to the toilet regularly is really important for optimum health, for gut health, for weight loss, and for a whole bunch of other health benefits as well. The thing,
Katie,
yeah,
you mentioned mucoid plaque.
yeah.
We know that John Wayne and we know that Elvis Presley both had, like 50 to 70 pounds of this mucoid plaque. Explain to people what it is.
Yeah, so it's basically it coats the intestinal tract and it's like a gooey substance. It's sort of made up of dead particles of dead cells, food particles, mucus, and it just kind of coats the lining. And what it does is it stops nutrients being absorbed into the through the gut wall. So it impedes nutrient absorption. So you don't want to have your gut lined with this mucoid plaque. And typically it would go hand in hand with constipation as well, wouldn't you say, Dr. Kurt?
Yeah, I definitely say that. A lot of people they're probably wondering, well, where do I get this stuff? How can somebody have 50 to 70 pounds of this mucoid plaque? So I'm going to kind of explain it real quickly, and I'm going to make it so that you can visualize it. Mucoid plaque, like Katie said, you're eating all this food and it sits in your gut. If you've got some digestive problems, maybe you've been on antibiotics, maybe you've got some chronic digestive problems, but whatever, this sits in your gut. And you remember your digestive system is like an open pipe that runs through you, and it's sitting at almost 100 degrees. So everything that's inside of the digestive system is kind of like on a slow cooker. And if you've ever put a soup on the stove and you put your stove on low and you just kind of kept it cooking, after a while, you get kind of that crusty stuff around the edges of the soup kettle that you're cooking the soup in. And that's what's building up inside your gut. And just imagine that you do that over and over and over again, and you never clean that out of that soup bowl that you're making that soup in. Eventually, it'll get real crusty. Well, that's what's inside your gut, and Super Detox cleans that out.
Yeah, fantastic. Kurt, did you know that only 5% of Americans are eating enough fiber to meet the RDI each day?
5%, only 5%. What is the recommended amount of fiber that we're supposed to have?
So yeah, so it's 25 grams for females and 35 for men. That's the minimum recommendation. And also it depends on obviously your height as well. So if you're actually a big person, and the same would go for a female, and you're eating more and you're bigger, then your fiber needs to go up, and you need a certain amount in your diet. And the reason you need the fiber is because it's what pushes everything along. All your other food that doesn't contain fiber, like especially all the animal product and stuff like that, if without the fiber, it's just going to get stuck and basically you're going to get constipated. So you need the fiber to push all the food out, and you also need it for the balance of good bacteria in your gut. Fiber,
Yeah,
different types of fibers are pre and probiotics. So, that's really important as well.
you bet. Well, that kind of leads us into the balanced D, doesn't it?
Yeah, so you want to talk about that one?
Well, the balanced D, a lot of people, they see the balanced D and they think that it's vitamin D. Now, there is some vitamin D in there, but it's not enough, in my opinion,
Yeah.
for the amount that we need. There's vitamin D in there because vitamin D is necessary for a healthy digestive system, but the D actually stands for digestion. Balanced digestion is what that stands for. So there's probiotics and there's prebiotics, and the prebiotics are generally that's fiber. And like Katie was just talking about, 35 grams for a average man, and 25 grams for an average woman. And we don't have near that amount in the balanced D. I mean, you can imagine that those capsules would have to be super huge in order to have, 35 grams. And so what's in there is enough just to kind of feed the probiotics. Like I said, it's called prebiotics. And we'll talk about postbiotics after when we start talking about the Sisel Thin. But prebiotics are the fiber that the probiotics live on, and what that does, it helps to balance out your gut so that you have the healthy bacteria growing, and a good growth of healthy bacteria kills the bad bacteria.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, and the next two products in there, we've got the Turn and Burn morning and night, and then we've got the Sizzle Thin. And I know you love these products, so I'll let you talk about those, Dr. Curt.
You bet. Well, some of the recent stuff that I've learned on Sizzle Thin is that when you combine it with probiotics, Sizzle Thin has something called beta hydroxybutyrate. And what that is you obviously, by this time in your life, you've heard of the keto diet, right? Keto diet, Keto, keto diet. And what the keto diet is it's based on the fact that when your body is burning fat as energy, it produces these ketones. And when your body produces ketones, what it does is a lot of different things happen in metabolism, but you start to burn fat as energy. And so what they found recently is that when you're burning fat as energy, it produces some other things inside your gut, and that's what we call postbiotics. Do you remember we talking about that a couple weeks ago, Katie? Postbiotics.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got the prebiotics, which is the fiber that feeds the prebiotics, right? And then we have the postbiotics, which is the byproducts of what the probiotics actually make in your digestive system, so that it helps balance out sugars, right? And we talk about this GLP-1 agonist, where there's a lot of new drugs that are on the market for diabetes, and they're using this GLP-1 agonist. And that's what happens when you have a balance of the pre, the post, and the probiotics, is that you will have a balance of these GLP-1 agonists, so you can avoid having to take that drug. And I'm not your doctor, so I can't tell you what to do. Katie, this is a good time to kind of add that disclaimer that if you're suffering from a medical problem, consult your physician on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And none of the information we're sharing today is designed to prevent, treat, cure any disease or illness. So if you are unwell, do consult your healthcare professional for advice. And particularly if you're considering taking supplements, you want to check with your doctor, particularly if you're unwell or taking medication. So yeah, let's continue on, Dr. Curt.
You bet. So the Sizzle Thin is a great product if you want to lose some weight. It helps burn fat because it puts you into that ketosis. It gets you to start producing those ketones. So let's move on to the Turn and Burn product. Our body has two different types of fat. We've got white fat, and then we got brown fat. And the white fat is really, it's kind of the stored fat. It's the fat that your body puts away, kind of saves it for a rainy day. It's when you go into a starvation mode, your body will burn it a little bit, but really it's just kind of that stored fat that you never seem to lose. And people that live like where I'm at up here in the North Country, I mean, it gets pretty cold up here, Katie. In the wintertime, we get some pretty cold weather. And so we tend to develop more of this white fat, which is a bad kind of fat. It's hard to get rid of. And brown fat is the fat that your body uses as energy. So what the scientists discovered is that there's certain nutrients that you can take that will actually convert the stored white fat into brown fat, and then your body can use it as energy. So what turn and burn is, you can see there's two products there. The one in the yellow bottle, what that one does is that turns up the heat in the oven. Like we were talking about the oven in your gut. It turns up the heat, so you start burning more fuel as energy, which is the fat. You burn more of that fat. And then the blue bottle, you take that one at night, and what that one does, it converts this white fat into brown fat with the nutrients that they use for that. Pretty cool.
Fantastic.
Pretty cool system, yeah. And I could tell as soon as I started taking it that my body composition was changing. I could tell it within the first month of taking the product. And even though some people that I have using it, they don't notice it on the scale as much, but they noticed in their body composition.
Yeah, very interesting. So yeah, scales
You
don't
bet.
always tell the truth. It's good to be using, as you said, body composition and a tape measure for your waist circumference, but you want to look at your muscle to fat ratio. So let's move.
Things that I want to just kind of say is that, we've talked a lot about skincare. You and I have been talking about skincare recently because Sisel's coming out with a new lineup of skincare products. And one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is that when you have a bad digestive system, you're going to have bad skin. And Katie, I know you know the answer to this, but why do we have bad skin when we have a bad digestive system?
Yeah, because basically, gut health is directly related to skin. It's the internal lining of the body, but the good bacteria in there. And if the good bacteria is out of balance, and basically if people are getting constipated or got gut issues, it just shows through the skin. I think it's the toxins coming through the skin. The pH
Right.
balance is out of balance. The good and bad bacteria is out of balance, and it's displayed through the skin.
You bet. Yeah. So the skin is a large filter. It's the biggest filter in your body. It filters more than your kidneys do.
Yeah, wow. Yeah.
So if you're having a lot of constipation problems, chances are you're going to have a lot of skin problems. Maybe you break out in adult acne and things like that.
Yeah.
And so you should start looking at the gut for problems that could lead to that. So I
Yeah.
always tell people that skin problems, these products right here are really, really, really important.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, great. Thanks, Dr. Curt. Thanks everyone for listening, and hopefully you'll listen to next week's video as well. We're trying to bring you some helpful, useful information, and we hope that you have a great week.
All right. Thanks, Katie, for putting this together. Thanks, everyone. Good night.
Bye.